Doctor in 3.
Okay. Throughout the day, we're going to be seeing celebrities, surprise people, and help them have their best day ever. Here is Spike Lee doing something awesome. He usually does the right thing, so.
Somebody's coming in today, and I want you to take notes, and I also want you to think about questions, comments, etc. So we're going to see who's here.
Wait, that's Spike Lee. Wait, that's Spike Lee.
That's what. Snap.
How's everyone doing? You surprised?
Yeah.
I'm a guest teacher today. My first 2 years at Morehouse, I was a C- D+ student. I was not motivated. I did not know what I wanted to do. Came back to New York. It was the summer of 1977, and I had a friend. I went over to her house, and in the corner, there was this box. I said, what's in that box? She says, Super 8 camera. You can have it. So I spent the whole summer running around New York City filming stuff with this Super 8 camera, which is a gift. And as a teacher who's still teaching it today, his name is Dr. Herb Eichelberger. I told him I had all this raw footage that I shot in the summer. What am I gonna do with it? He said, make a documentary. And I did. And from that moment on, I was an A+ student. Why do you think that was?
You found something you was interested in.
Yes, I found something I wanted to do for the rest of my life. I found my passion. What is your passion?
To become a business major.
Science and business management.
I want to be a psychologist.
I don't know yet.
I want you to start thinking about it, all right? We all know money's important, but that's not everything. You should start thinking about what makes you happy. We really appreciate you letting us come into your class. You're great students. As a small, very, very, very small token appreciation, you're gonna be my guest in the house that Babe Ruth built, April 5th, for the home opener of the 27-time world champion, New York Yankees.
You're doing a lot. Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Remember, hashtag best day ever.
Hashtag best day ever.
That'd be pretty wonderful if that happened, I would say.
That was pretty great.
That's awesome.
I wish that happened in my school.
I know. That made me teary-eyed.
You never had a famous director drop by your class?
Spike Lee never came to Portville, New York.
Oh, wow.
No.
Yeah, it
Did Spike Lee come to your class?
Not Spike Lee specifically, but we had several famous directors come by and talk to us. Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Really?
Most of them asked if I would stay afterwards so they could get some inspiration from me.
Oh,
A very famous director. I don't know if you've seen the film Goodfellas.
Yes.
Yeah, not Scorsese, but Canadian director Adam McGoyan, of course, asked to talk to me. He directed The Sweet Hereafter and other great films. And yeah, they'd come by and talk to us all the time. Up in Canada, we have lots of great people. A lot of people think Canada is just, an empty wasteland. It's not that at all.
You have Justin Bieber.
Thank you.
Celine Dion.
Yes.
Justin
Margaret
Bieber.
Atwood.
Yep.
Michael Jordan.
Hockey players. Probably.
Hockey players. Lots of famous people. But yeah, directors would often come in and talk to us. And that's kind of how I became who I was. And I agree with Spike. You got to find your passion. And I found my passion, which is interviewing. So let me try something here.
Okay, sure.
Ricky.
Yes.
How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling
Great.
pretty good. Yeah.
Now, we have a podcast coming up. We actually have an amazing podcast lined up all day. True?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm not lying when I say that.
No, this is real.
This next podcast, though, is familiar to all of us because you both have been guests on this podcast.
And this one? Nope, not this one.
No.
Later.
Later? Well, then forget about what I said.
I don't think we're qualified to be guests on this podcast because it's very specialized.
I'm a terrible interviewer.
Yeah.
I just realized earlier I said that was my passion. You can, by the way, you can be passionate about something and terrible at it.
You can change your passion whenever you want, also.
Yeah. You can pick a new one right now.
What is it?
I know.
Hairstylist. Oh.
You should be passionate about throwing it to the podcast.
Okay, should I?
Yeah.
Just do it?
Just do it.
Okay,
Go
here
for
we
it.
go.
I want to see the passion though. I want to see you sell this.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you're here with me. All right, we do have some amazing podcasts lined up, so let's just get to it. With three guys who know something about the awesomeness of gaming, here's Rooster Teeth with their special guest, Broken Lizard.
Thanks, guys. We're coming to you live from YouTube Space LA, and we are Rooster Teeth. I'm Gus.
I'm Kevin.
And I'm Bernie.
And I'm Gus.
Yes, he is. Oh, even here you're gonna do that. Huh?
Yeah, everybody always got to do that.
So Spike Lee showed up at was it a high school class that he showed up at?
Yeah, he was in school, it looked like.
What is the most famous person that ever showed up at your school when you were there?
I grew up in this really tiny town in the middle of nowhere, and there was a movie that was filmed there in the late 90s called Lone Star. I don't remember who was in it, but I know someone famous was there.
Was that a sci-fi movie?
No, it was like a mystery Western movie. I don't remember. I don't know.
And so the guy from Lone Star.
Sherlock went to the Old West. No.
And Sherlock came to
No,
your high
I'm
school?
I'm talking
in Eagle Pass, Texas?
out in the middle of nowhere.
What
I
about you?
had a professional yo-yo guy. He was like the best dude at yo-yo. And he'd be
Gavin,
like,
by the way, is from Chicago. I don't know if you can tell by his accent. So.
yeah, Chicago, France.
Yeah.
That's where I'm from. He did a thing where he like spun it around his head, and one of the teachers had to duck. It was pretty funny.
Really?
And then
did they know they had to duck? Or
No.
They just did it.
No.
And then he sold yo-yos out of his briefcase afterwards to all the kids.
So so in the UK, it's called a yo-yo still?
It is called a yo-yo.
I would expect something
But they're
ridiculous.
flipped.
What does that
Well,
mean?
we
It's an
use-
oil. It's an oil.
What does that mean? They're flipped.
Well, we use the second yo in the front. You never
It's
know that.
completely backwards.
Yeah.
I think the most famous person that came to my school when I was there was a guy who owned. He did an inspirational speech. He owned a number of local sub shops. So that was awesome. Not quite Spike Lee,
And
but
eventually, later in your life, when you were very young, you worked in a sub shop. So it was very inspirational for you.
It did. It had an impact on me. All right, we should probably explain who exactly we are for people who are watching this, watching Best Day Ever, and have never watched our podcast before, like the hosts. So why don't you explain a little bit about what Rooster Teeth is?
So Rooster Teeth is we have a channel on YouTube. We have a social media website, and we try to make funny videos for the internet. We succeed sometimes. We do animation, live action, podcasts such as this one, and we've been doing it now for 12 years. Today is our 12th anniversary.
Yeah, we made the horrible mistake of starting our company on April 1st. So every time we have an anniversary, which is when we like to make announcements, it's always on April 1st. And
No one ever believes
No one
you.
ever believes us. In fact, we're going to talk about it in a little bit, but Chevy asked us to do something special for Best Day Ever, to hold, a kind of a selection process, come up with an idea to make the world a better place. And we'll get to that in a second. But we've always tried to do stuff to give back to the community. And I think what makes us different than everybody else is that we started way before YouTube or anybody else was really doing video online.
We had to take our video uphill both ways to people's houses so that they could watch the video and laugh.
But we did have to host the videos ourselves. Yeah. And when you talk about something like Best Day Ever, where it's goodwill and kind of like, I don't know if you guys believe in karma, but you put good stuff out there and good stuff comes back. When we first started doing this, we had to host all of our own videos ourselves. In fact, if we had a video that was popular and our show Red vs. Blue got popular pretty much right away, we had to pay for people to watch that.
Yeah.
It's so backwards compared to what happens now.
Yeah.
When you make money from views. So you actually, if you got like 5 million views, would you be like, oh crap?
Yeah,
a heavy bill.
I think the first bill we got, Gus did the calculations on it. We were going to get a bill for $12,000 for a month of bandwidth to serve this stuff.
Right.
But then you talk about good things that happen over the course of a career, like serendipity and that kind of thing. And then the online video explosion happened, and then all this infrastructure got built, and now we have a totally different kind of business based on all that. It's like, and we could have never predicted that, back when we started in 2003. But then all these things happen, they fall in place, and good things happen to other people, including us. We've always considered ourselves to be very fortunate.
Yeah, we're extremely fortunate. We're just a couple of guys who were at the right place at the right time, and now we've got 1 million cameras pointed at us in this room.
There's literally 10,000 cameras in this room.
We could actually, if we cut to each one really quick, it'd be like bullet time. Dodge bullets.
Hey, let me ask you another question. How disappointed are you guys that we do a podcast every single week? It's super popular, and yet we come here for 5 minutes and we've already got a better set.
I know. This place is great.
nice.
This is really nice.
They have a really nice couch.
I was looking at it. I was actually admiring. I was like, oh, it's sections. Okay, I can totally see us doing this. So you talked about us starting the business on April 1st. So now nobody believes when we make announcements. What I think another big mistake we made is we called our company Rooster Teeth.
Yeah, we should talk to the Broken Rooster guys about that, right?
Yeah. So now anytime we meet someone, they always ask, oh, Rooster Teeth. That's a weird name. Do roosters have teeth?
Yeah.
And then you have to go through an explanation. So I'm really curious. When the Broken Lizard guys come out here, I definitely want to ask them if they're tired of explaining what Broken Lizard means. And I'm going to ask them to explain to me what it does mean, because I don't even know.
And we'll talk to them about it. But I started off as an independent filmmaker, and I was trying to go to film festivals and things like that, and then kind of stumbled on the internet as a way to distribute and go directly to people. And it was just like you said, right place, the right time, things falling into place. But you fast forward a few years, just give you an idea about Rooster Teeth. We have 18 million subscribers across all of our different YouTube channels. We have our own website, which is kind of a rare thing these days. And we have 1.6 million registered members on that. We have like 4 billion views on YouTube at this point. But I think the story that was the biggest for us in the last 12 months was we ran a crowdfunding campaign last summer for a new feature that we're working on called Laser Team. And we asked our audience, hey, we want to make a feature, want to make something that you maybe see in theaters, and can you help us out and help us find a way to make this happen? And that goodwill, that like Best Day Ever, that was a great day
Absolutely.
for us.
Yeah.
Was that day we started that campaign, And we hit our goal in about 20 hours, and then we broke $1 million within 40 hours. And we went on to set the record for the highest amount crowdfunded on the platform that we were on, and the third highest crowdfunded movie of all time. That was then. So things have changed just recently, which is part of our second part of this podcast. But you know, in the spirit of that, when Chevy came to us and they said, "Hey, can you guys do something cool?" We thought crowdfunding would be a great vector for that.
Right, absolutely, and it makes sense for both parties involved here. So
Great.
we put out a call, and we had people submit ideas for things that they wanted funded, and we received an overwhelming avalanche of entries. I think we had submissions open for just about 24 hours.
It was exactly 24 hours we had the form up, yeah.
And we had over 7,500 people apply for projects.
I think we had 2,000 in the first 3 hours.
It was amazing to watch all of the information come in, and it was all over the place, from absolutely ridiculous things to really crazy, great, noble ideas.
We didn't set any guidelines.
Right.
What we said was, we're going to take $10,000, thanks to Chevy, and we're going to make somebody else's project a reality because of that money.
Yes.
We're gonna make that happen, because that's what we felt like. The Broken Lizard guys are going through it right now. That's what we went through last summer. Gavin was in the movie. We shot that in October.
It's really the best motivator to make a movie is when people from all over the planet just give you a bunch of money. It's like, well, now we've got to make the movie. Let's go and do it now.
Now we just can't.
But we did it really quickly after.
Well, it was always when we were talking about making a feature, we make a lot of web series and, like I said, funny videos for the internet. But when we talked about making a feature, it was always going to be the next thing we did after the next thing we do. So it was we'll do this thing, and then we'll do the feature. And then something else would come along with it. Okay, we'll do this, and then we'll do the feature. It's why don't we just figure out a way to get this done? And crowdfunding, once again, right place at the right time. We couldn't have predicted that crowdfunding would become a thing. And so for the best day ever, we wanted to give something back to the world based on what they've given to us. And so we ran this contest. We had 7,500 entries, and literally the deadline for the entries was last night at 9 p.m. So we were poring over these entries as they were coming in and identifying ones that we liked. And then we, once it locked down, 2 hours later, we had selected the one that we wanted to fund. And we have a video now that shows you who exactly we picked and us informing them that they were selected for the funding.
Let's watch it.
Okay, well, it is 12:30 in the morning here in Austin, and why are you whispering? I don't know. It's 12:30 in the morning, not a secret. And we have been taking submissions all day long for our best day ever event, sponsored by Chevy, which was to fund a project for $10,000, and we would take submissions from all over the world. We got over 7,500 submissions in 24 hours.
That is a lot.
That was a lot. It was a big spreadsheet. So we had to go through all of them. We've been pouring over these things all day long. The deadline closed about 2 hours ago, and we have a guy we're about to call. His name is Dylan. He's from Rapid City, South Dakota, and we told him he's a finalist, but he doesn't know that he's actually been selected for the funding, and we're going to go reveal that on this phone call. All right, we got our confetti cannons. We've actually been practicing our confetti cannon.
We made a mess.
Well, you made a mess. All right, this should be a lot of fun. Come on. All right, let's do this.
And you want to record?
All right, it's ringing. Hey, there we are. Hey, Dylan. Hey. How are you doing? It's Bernie Burns. Mr.
I'm Gavin.
Gavin
I know
Free.
who you are.
How are you doing?
Pretty good.
So you were one of the 7,500 people that submitted for a best day ever project to be funded by Rooster Teeth, and thanks to Chevrolet. You submitted. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your project, since you're one of the 5 finalists that we selected?
So I live in South Dakota, a city called Rapid City, and here it's pretty much flat for everywhere, about 500 miles, and so cold in the winters. And so I was really interested in providing warm clothing for people that don't necessarily have access to it like everyone else. With wind chill here, it can get down to 40 below. And if you don't have anywhere to go or anything like that, good apparel definitely makes all the difference.
Right. So if someone is homeless or doesn't have somewhere to go, you were hoping to find those people an opportunity to get their hands on more appropriate outdoor wear for the weather. Gavin, I looked it up. and their low temperature this week in April and spring is 28 degrees. They're having this week. So you can imagine what, like, do you know what that is in Celsius, 28 degrees?
It's minus freezing.
It's minus freezing. Yeah, so, I mean, needless to say, very cold. And what do you call your project, Dylan?
Mine is, I called it Coats for Hope.
Yeah, and I love that your quote there at the end when you said, warm people are happier people. When we asked you, would your project make the world a better place? So is this something that you've always wanted to do, or is this kind of an inspirational thing?
Well, I haven't always lived here, and so when I see people walking around in like hoodies and stuff when it's even like 5 or 6 degrees outside, I can't fathom that. And, you know, some people do it by choice and some don't.
So as you know, this event, Best Day Ever, is taking place on April 1st. And April 1st is usually a day in which people kind of pull pranks on other people and silly things happen. There's maybe like a switcheroo. So we have to be honest with you. We kind of made this call under false pretenses, Dylan.
Okay.
You are not one of the top 5 finalists. Your project, Coats for Hope, has been selected to be funded with $10,000. Congratulations! Hey! Oh, these are loud, really loud. Yeah. How does it feel?
Feels amazing.
Yeah, that's great, man. We're so proud of you. Your project really spoke to us, and we're happy to be a part of it in some small way. So what are you going to be your next steps? I'd love to hear what you're going to do next.
I'm definitely going to be in contact with the people in town that have already been helping these people and just see or try and find the best way to spend it, basically, to do the most good.
Awesome. Well, hopefully $10,000 will go a long way to making that goodness a reality. Congratulations. If there's anything that we can do to help make this happen or find a way to help you, like, organize this, we'd be proud to be a part of it.
That's amazing. Thank you so much.
Congratulations. 7,500 submissions. Dylan from Rapid City, South Dakota, Coats for Hope. He is the project we have decided to fund for the Best Day Ever, thanks to Chevrolet. Dylan, congratulations.
Well done, Dylan.
Thank you so much.
Go on, son.
SAG new media level, like, so we were like,
hey everyone, we're back. Thanks for joining us. We got we're joined by the Super Trooper guys here.
Hello.
You're welcome us. It's Jay, Steve, and Kevin.
Welcome all.
All here to talk with us about their upcoming project and about crowdfunding in general. First, the elephant in the room. I feel like we have to get it out of the way. You all surpassed our record on the crowdfunding platform for most funded film. Hate you guys forever.
Sorry.
So we have to give you guys the championship belt. We're handing it off to you guys. You are now the kings. Take good care of it.
You do have to wear it in the movie.
Wow. You have to wear it constantly.
I will warn you,
Amazing.
it's very difficult to use a urinal while wearing that.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Double XL? Is it double XL?
It'll
I need to wait.
Put it on right now, or
it's the highest quality.
Unquestionably.
Guild.
if I bite that, will my teeth mark be in that gold?
Whatever the local party supply store, I'm sure they have real gold and all their materials.
All right.
It's not bad. Wow, that's hardcore, man.
So this seems like the perfect storm to me for crowdfunding, what you guys are doing with Super Troopers too, because people have been just like ravenous. I'm a fan. We're all fans of the Super Troopers.
Thank you.
And it's like, you know, everyone's like, when is he going to do it? When is it going to be Super Troopers 2? And then now it comes along and you guys are doing it essentially on your own and funding it on your own.
Well, it was such a grassroots movie, you know, like people didn't necessarily see it in the theater that much, you know, it was passed around from people to people, which seemed the crowdfunding thing that seemed to lend itself to that, you know.
You know, when
a grassroots movie.
Yeah, when we were first starting out, I remember you guys had sold an astronomical amount of DVDs. And everybody had that DVD, and everybody would watch it.
Yeah.
And that's why when we started our business, even though we started out as a web company, DVDs and home video were always a big part of what we did to fund it because we didn't have theatrical. So, you know, we had to embrace that. So you guys have been a huge influence.
But now the DVD market doesn't exist anymore.
We still luckily we have box sets
it's
now.
gone.
Yeah.
And even, you know, the way I think the Super Troopers movie was marketed, you know, it was Broken Lizard, presents Super Troopers. At the time, you know, I didn't know who Broken Lizard was, but it stuck with me.
Yeah.
And, you know, even now when we do Rooster Teeth stuff, it's always Rooster Teeth presents and then whatever we're doing just to get.
Although I will say that, like, when Club Dread came out, a lot of times you go to the theater and it would just say Broken Lizards on the marquee. And you'd be like, I think they missed it. They got it wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the name Rooster Teeth, by the way. I look at it, I'm like, we should have come up with that.
Well, what is the meaning behind Broken Lizard? Is there a meaning behind it? Because, well, go ahead. I'm not going to say anything.
Well, we get asked all the time, so you guys must get the same
What
question.
is the answer? Is it truly about like biting a penis?
Yeah. Yeah, it was our first catchphrase with our audience.
I was imagining the rooster was the one with the teeth, but it's actually you're biting the rooster.
It's a little bit of comedy and a little bit of poultry all together there. It's
poultry.
The state of Texas, where we're based out of Austin, they would not let us register Bite Productions, you know. And also, we didn't want that appearing on guys' credit cards, you know.
Right.
Their girlfriends or wives would come after them.
It's amazing how immature we all are. We're always trying to get one by. Like, we had a production company that was called Cat's Hit Inc.
Oh. Really?
Yeah, just cat shit. But like, but somehow, like, you're always trying to slide it by, and we slid that one by. Yeah.
So was Broken Lizard something that you guys were using before Super Troopers?
Yeah, it was the comedy group. We graduated, went to college together, graduated, and then started Broken Lizard in New York City after we graduated from our college group.
Oh, no kidding. You mind if I ask what school?
Colgate University.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I never knew that part of the story.
Yeah. We were all in college together.
Our college group was called Charred Goose Beak.
Was it really?
Yeah. They still exist, right?
They do.
I was reading my Wikipedia this morning.
There you go.
Wow, look at you, researcher.
No, he's a fan. He doesn't want to admit. He does Charred Goose Beak all the time.
I wanted to look intelligent for once in my life.
So that's amazing. So you guys started as a comedy group, then started just went straight into features from that, or were you guys doing shorts?
We were doing live shows. We did live comedy for a while, and then we started making shorts and short films, and then. But that was like when we did it. It's like you had the VHS camera on your show. You put the VHS.
High eight.
Yeah, there you go.
No. It was a VHS camera.
But we also did the thing. We watched some of our videos now, and we really do. Like, we would have videos that were just master shots. We would do the whole sketch, and then we would freeze at the end because we didn't know how to make a still.
So did you find that, you know, when you were doing stuff live, was that more nerve-wracking than having to, you know, film stuff or doing shorts?
Yeah. I mean, we only started filming stuff because we needed time to change our costumes. Like, we would have like a mermaid costume on, and then you needed like 3 minutes to get into the gorilla costume. So you put a video up.
Who had the mermaid costume on? I have to ask.
I can't remember. We did a thing about a cop and a mermaid.
Yeah, well, first there was a series
Clancy
of sketches.
and the Mermaid.
Yeah,
Clancy, yeah, it was like a new cop show, Clancy and the Mermaid.
Yeah.
Because first it was Clancy and the Poet, which was him and like a beatnik poet. Kevin and a beatnik poet, like on the job together. And then it was O'Hurley and the Hindu, and it was these two guys.
Oh, right, O'Hurley and the Hindu.
And then later in the show,
it was O'Malley and the Mermaid.
O'Malley and the Mermaid.
Right.
And he was like, oh, what the hell?
It's a mermaid.
He'd had enough. Yeah. Good stuff. Good times.
I'd love to hear about like how you guys got going. Like, what was the final thing that you said, okay, this is what we're gonna do to make Super Troopers 2 a reality? Like, what was that moment?
Well, I mean, you know, basically the Fox Searchlight agreed to release the film theatrically, but they said you guys have to come up with all the money.
Oh.
And that's all the money to make the film and release the film.
And so all the marketing, all the
they're like
not cheap.
Yeah.
But they're going to put it out wide. So they're great at releasing. So we just we've made a couple besides Super Troopers. We made a film called Puddle Cruiser, and we've made some indies before. And we thought, okay, well let's go out and try to raise the money. And this, because our fan base is so, I mean, every bar we go into, we go to Dodger games, like all these people are constantly yelling, meow and all these sort of, chicken fucker and all these things. So
don't call me radio.
Yeah, so we thought let's see what's out there and see if we can have the fans help us get it made, and they've jumped forward.
Yeah, it's one of those absolutely quotable movies that's just stuck in everybody's mind. I think of it like along the lines of like the Holy Grail Monty Python. When every time we go to a Blockbuster, somebody would just have to hold that up, and then people would just be quoting it the entire time while we're looking for another movie. Same kind of deal.
It's even reached a point, where it's like meme status. The Mother of God image on Reddit.
Yeah.
That's constant. You see that every day. It's huge. It's in that cultural zeitgeist.
Yeah. And you guys have been online this entire time. Like, you guys had a community site and then went over to your, MySpace back in the day even. And now you see you guys did a Reddit AMA. Do you guys stay active online?
People have to tell us what to do.
Yeah.
We're dinosaurs. Like, we don't know.
But it's fun when you learn about the new stuff and they
amazing.
make you do those things, then you do them.
It's amazing, but it's like, we were with Kevin Pereira last night, who used to host Attack of the Show.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like every time we hang out with the guy, he's got something new. He's like, last night we were doing a video podcast. He's like, this is going out to Twitch. And we're like, Twitch and Meerkat? Like, what are these?
The Meerkat. But believe it or not, Periscope. Meerkat, I think, has already been replaced by Periscope. It was like 1 week. That's how long it lasted.
Because you'll do stuff where you'll just be like this with your phone. And I'll be like, what now? What this time? And you're like, oh, you're live to like 500 people on Periscope. And I'm like, what does that mean? What do I do?
Are they in a submarine?
Yeah. It means nothing to me.
Yeah. But we're on all the hot wherever that is hot, we are on right now.
There we go. Yeah, you guys have to get everything out there everywhere.
I remember when Twitter first came out, we were driving in a van, and one of the other guys in the group was like, there's this thing called Twitter, we should all get on it. I'm like, that sounds like a wussy kind of thing. I'm not into that. And so none of us jumped on. And then 3 years later, all of our friends have like 1 million followers. And we're like, oh my God, we should have done that thing. Now we do it all the time.
That's always the pain with social media stuff.
Yeah, you never know which is the thing to follow.
Yeah.
Like Kevin and I used to have a joint Twitter account because we were doing stand-up comedy touring
nice.
together.
It's cute. It's cute is what it is.
Right, but
really special.
I saw the writing on the wall. And I was like, I might as well just, while we're starting this thing, I might as well get my own.
You went solo.
After a
Oh,
month,
no!
I
You broke it up.
Well, no, what happened, I still kept the Heffernan and Lemmy site, and then I started my own Steve Lemmy site. And on the radio, we were being interviewed one time, and they were like, so what are your Twitter handles? And he said, Heffernan and Lemmy. And I went, and I have a confession to make. And I confessed that I had a new thing, and it was like I had just I had divorced him. Like
broke
on
up
the air.
Yeah.
On the air, he divorced her.
Did you have to change your Twitter handle? Did you drop
No,
his
what
name
I
from
did
it?
is I commandeered ours and I
that's
turned
how
it
you
into
do it.
mine.
Yeah, so he's ahead of me in
Yeah,
Twitter followers.
That's right.
So you lost the Twitter account and the divorce is basically
That's
what it was,
exactly
right?
that's exactly what happened.
You went off on the new hotness, but then
Do the followers get to visit you on the weekends?
Yeah.
I begrudgingly told people to go follow him too. But,
It's amicable. It's amicable. And Jay has always been a bit of a technophobe. Like all the way back, I remember like cell phones. Jay didn't want a cell phone. He was like, I'll never have a cell phone.
It's true. I also said, these will never work.
Right.
Yeah.
They will never catch on. People will think they're for douchebags.
The first experience I ever had with the World Wide Web, I sat down at a computer in 93 or 94. And up until then, I'd been using like all text-based internet stuff, like really hardcore nerd things. And I sat down and like, this is going to blow your mind. It's graphical internet, images. And I sat down, I was trying to load a website. It was slow and it just wouldn't load. I said, is it always like this? And the guy running the lab said, yeah, well, maybe the server's just slow. And I said, this right here, the web, this is nothing. This is going nowhere. Nobody wants to use this. This is so slow.
This sucks.
I like stood up in disgust and went up to my Unix mainframe terminal. And I was like, this is the real internet. And I looked back, I'm like, I totally missed the boat on that one. I was dead wrong.
I think it is true that it's douchey, everyone having smartphones and stuff, but just so many people do it that the douche level comes down. As a whole.
You think that's the way it works?
Yeah, I think everyone's a douche, and that's why everyone's less douchey to everyone else.
Well, on a relative scale.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's like
Einsteinian.
You have to, like I made a pact with myself. I was like, all right, I will finally get a cell phone, but I'm not going to eat. I'm not going to speak at a table, or text when I'm with people. I'm just like, if I have to take a phone call at a restaurant, I'll go outside.
Right.
Which I did for like a few years, but now I'll just be at the table.
Are you one of those people who has like their phone on speakerphone, talking out in public?
I did that for a while, but then I have headphones now, which is almost worse.
No, now he's a Periscope guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Follows himself all over the place.
He connects Bluetooth to the PA system in the restaurant, so everyone has to hear it everywhere.
Yeah.
Just firing torpedoes
I have
everywhere.
my boom, my portable speaker that I hook up to the phone.
Well, how many days left do you guys have in your campaign left?
22, I think.
Oh, poor babies. 22 days left.
Yeah.
23, something like that.
Shattering records. But listen, you should absolutely, one thing I can say from experience with crowdfunding campaigns is that there tends to be a lot of interest at the beginning when you announce something cool like Super Troopers, and then there tends to be this long period of time where people are aware of it, but then a big spike of interest at the end when you're coming to a close, especially if you haven't met your goals. But I want to encourage everybody, Super Troopers is probably the cult classic of the last 20 years. I know everybody quotes it. If you can go out and support the Indiegogo campaign for Super Troopers 2, you should absolutely take the time to do it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I can't wait to see it, guys. I'm really excited.
Thank you.
Good.
Thanks for having us.
Can we say the address?
Go, yeah, sure. I'm not going to stop you.
SuperTroopers2movie.com.
Yeah, go check it out, please.
Will there be any more vomit?
Yes.
Real vomit?
Yeah.
Yes.
That was all real vomit. Yeah.
I
Right.
read
Yeah.
that on the IMDb.
No,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Well, the very end, after the credits,
He was telling me there's a
he
scene after the
vomits. We kept the whole take on there, and he vomits 6 times.
Can
And
you
it
just
was-
do that on command?
No, it took a while.
He and I-
It took a lot of time at the craft service table.
He was
Yeah,
great.
you
Kevin
filled
was great. He was like, he said to me, go get me plates of like gummy stuff and M&Ms. I want the most colorful vomit I can.
But that's the thing with movie vomit. It always looks like
that's the thing.
someone had a mouthful of
Yeah, it's
like,
like,
soup. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh,
This was like a rainbow.
We went into the bathroom, and the owner of the the place we were shooting realized we were doing something nefarious in there, and we locked the door. Me, him, and a cameraman. And he's just pounding near beers and eating peanut M&Ms, and finally goes, "Blah, it's coming, it's coming." And then he blew 6 beautiful times.
Yeah, that was one of the when I watched the scene, I was like, I don't think it was a hose, and I don't think he just had a mouth.
No, real.
It must have been.
We vowed if you shoot a movie on 35mm film, vomit.
Go all
That's
out.
what you do.
Well, on a more positive note, I hear
I thought
that
that was extremely positive.
Yeah,
by the way.
you guys went out and did something fun this morning to give some people their own best day ever.
The best day ever we did.
Yeah.
We did.
A little kindness. We spread some kindness and some joy this morning.
Yeah.
So I believe we have video evidence of this joy
Oh, we
being
do?
spread.
Okay.
I don't know if it's ready to be shown.
It just
but,
happened. This is great.
We can check it out.
Work, man. Can I say that walking in, I just saw cops. Okay? That's why I was like, I don't want nothing from you guys.
You're back. You eat it already?
Yeah, you
did. Yeah, you like it?
Delicious. You're like a raccoon at a campfire.
I am a
All of a sudden you're here all the time.
This is the best day ever.
Okay.
Hey everyone, we're back. So good job spreading
joy.
goodwill.
Thank you.
And best day ever.
It's easy to give out lollipops.
Did you have
People love lollipops.
Yeah.
You know?
Did you bring lollipops here?
We
brought them out.
Actually,
Somebody must have
I
them.
tripped over a box of lollipops out there.
Yeah, those are our lollipops.
I'm just
Put 'em
saying,
out there so you
there's
trip
about
on 'em.
20,000 crew members in a 10 by 10 room. If anybody wants to get me a lollipop, I'm not going to complain.
Wow.
But they're the big ones.
Hey,
You know,
listen,
like
I
this
learned
guy.
that rainbow vomit really plays
Yes,
well.
exactly.
In workshops, great.
Lollipop vomit.
It'll sound great on the mics. Everyone at home will just love the fact that we're enjoying lollipops here.
Come on, best day ever. I give it best day ever.
I can't imagine
gigantic lollipop.
I can't imagine being a dude on the street and just seeing that.
We had
Like, that must have been a nice feeling.
Yeah, that must have freaked
It
people
was
out.
funny.
that dude that was in that thing with the tattoos and everything. When he first came in, he freaked out. He was like, "I don't want it. I don't want to be on camera. I don't want any of your thing." And then when we came back out, he was like, "I thought you guys were real cops." Clearly, he was hiding something. He was a bit of a perp. But then he took the lollipop, and then he went away. And then he came back again for another thing. So
For a picture.
yeah,
Lollipop thief.
yeah.
And it's crazy. You know, the video that you guys did for your crowdfunding campaign was, I mean, I think that got everybody right back into it. It's amazing how quickly it fell in.
Oh, good. Thank you.
You know,
Yeah,
'cause-
we figured if you get the uniforms on, you got to give them something, you know, with the pullovers or something, you know. And so we try to do something funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think people were saying that to me, you know, all around the place. I was like, go to the site and, you know, contribute to the campaign.
Yeah.
It's like they're not just making videos for online, you know, they're doing this for a reason.
Yeah.
Do you have an idea when the movie might come out?
I would imagine the earliest would probably be spring of next year.
Spring of next year?
Yeah, we're gonna try to shoot this summer, so that's the plan.
Where do you guys? Can I ask where you might shoot in the
Maybe
summer?
Massachusetts, maybe New York State, maybe Minnesota.
whatever
Yeah,
they
we're in
give
Texas.
us
We
money
stay
to.
away from shooting in the summer in Texas.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
like,
It's like 105 degrees.
Yeah.
If you're looking for any other ethnically ambiguous people, my schedule is open.
Hey.
I am willing to step in there.
So that's something you guys have in
Fantastic.
common, or at least in common with the character from the movie, is that Gus is so racially ambiguous. People will approach him on the street and just like try to guess.
Yeah.
I was in a bar one.
Latvian.
That's a good one.
Latvian. Any guesses, Steve?
I'm gonna say Chino Latino.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Chino Latino.
Yeah.
You got it. Best of both worlds.
Italian.
My favorite was a guy in a bar. Gus is playing pool. Guy walks out of the bathroom, like rubbing his hands in the pants. Sees Gus, walks up to him and goes, "Black and Korean," and that's it. And Gus just goes, "No, not even close." And he goes, "Okay," and that was their whole conversation.
There was actually a follow-up to that. There was a second part to this. So he says, "Black and Korean." I say, "No." And he goes, "What are you?" I go, "My parents are from Mexico." He goes, "You're Mexican?" I say, "Yeah." And he has his friend, who's also Mexican, playing pool at the next table over, and he goes, "Hey, this guy says he's Mexican." The guy looks at me, he goes, "Sup?" I go, "Yeah, what's up?" He goes, "Yeah, he's Mexican." It was the weirdest interaction I've ever had.
It was the vibe.
Regarding that.
I can't imagine how that would have worked if you weren't in the club. Like, what would you just run? Would you have frozen like deer in the headlights?
Yeah, I would have been like,
is that the test?
Holding 2 coffee cups. I don't know what to do. But yeah, I get that. I get that all the time, and so I really enjoyed that joke in Super Troopers where.
That's the one joke you enjoyed, right?
Yeah.
Well, I enjoyed lots of parts.
I spoke to him.
I have a moment from the movie that it's one of those moments that you have in life where it's just silly and you think about it and it makes you laugh at obscure times. Like I'll just be in public and I'll think about it. It's Brian Cox biting the soap.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just so funny to think about when you're not even watching the movie.
Yeah,
I know.
And there's a
I'll
couple
make me laugh in bed.
There's a couple of things about that. Was that soap was white chocolate, and he bit into it, and then all of a sudden he freaked out and he was like, "Is this chocolate?" And we were like, "Yeah," and he's like, "I'm diabetic."
Oh no!
And he had
freaked out.
Yeah, he had swallowed a couple of chunks of this thing, and then so we got him a non-sugary white chocolate, and the next one he bit it off and spit it, and the chunk went right into my mouth.
How big was the chunk?
It was a chunk. He bit off like a good chunk.
Like a quarter.
Somehow.
Did you swallow it?
I just let it sit in my mouth for the rest of the take because I didn't want to, ruin anything.
I can't imagine anything worse
Disgusting.
than someone spitting already chewed, sugar-free white chocolate into my mouth.
You gotta love the commitment though that he just went for it without even knowing what it was.
Right, that's what I'm thinking. He must have thought it was soap.
Yeah, he could have died.
Isn't that how you caught diabetes?
That is how I got it. Yeah.
I hear that's how you get it.
Yeah, contagious.
Not even worst day ever. when you caught diabetes that way.
I also, speaking of like not realizing things until you're already filming, I read that y'all didn't realize that contact with menthol shaving cream causes skin irritation until afterwards.
Well, I don't think that was our fault. I think like whoever the props person went and bought shaving cream to put all over Rabbit,
But who would think? Who would think?
I don't know. And I think it was the prop person, and they filled the thing with menthol shaving cream, and then he had it on his.
It came out hot. Yeah.
He was like, ah! Yeah.
Tingly.
Yeah, but that's as you guys know, that's what happens. Like you write these ridiculous things, and then the day comes where you actually have to shoot them. So like like the maple syrup chug in Super Troopers. These guys tried to do it with like iced tea and Coca-Cola in there, but the glug was too fast. The bubbles were just moving.
Mm-hmm.
So they actually had to do real maple syrup, 3 bottles each, I think.
That's how you catch diabetes.
Yeah, well, that was just so brutal. I mean, it was afterwards you couldn't really be inside your own body.
Yeah, that would ruin the day.
We went and sat in a dark room for lunch, and we just sort of shivered on the ground, and then we got up and Eric went back to the hotel, and I shot the rest of the day, kind of just barely getting through. And then I met him at the hotel, and he goes, "Have you gone poop yet?" And I said, he goes, "No." He goes, "Oh, you're in for a treat." And I said, "I'm on my way." And I went in there, and there's a reason maple syrup is part of that sort of master cleanse, because I literally shot like a fossilized bird, right? Like a stick with leaves, but all like in like purple and black. Just like these things I never remember swallowing.
It was trying to regrow the tree.
Yeah,
started
just these awful creatures came out.
And some waffles too.
So I'll never do that again.
That's disgusting.
Yeah. Lesson learned very painfully, it sounds like. So how much, when you guys are planning making Super Troopers 2, how much time and money do you budget for just mustache? Like time?
Man, I need a lot. I need a lot of time for mustache.
I mean, we grow the real mustaches.
I believe it. I would absolutely believe that. We talking like 2 months, 3 months here?
For me, it's like 3 months, I think, and then a little enhancement,
Yeah.
a little extra, something.
And he's lowballing you, by the way. Look, he's got like 15 hair holes on his upper lip. There's not much mustache in there.
I had to have one for our movie, and it took a long time. This sucks.
You got one now, though. Come on.
Yeah, but without all this, I look like a child predator. It's unfortunate.
Gavin actually started out, we met Gavin in the UK. I met Gavin when he was 15. He was a fan of our stuff, watching it online.
When you were a child?
You were a child.
When I was, exactly, right.
When he went to Europe to meet the 15-year-old.
Yeah, when I went over to the UK to meet an underage male. That's the dream, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's why you did it.
That's the dream.
But he was watching our stuff, we went over, and then so he's been working with us now for, what, 8 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
hired me from England.
He has his whole own show that he does, which is just Gavin does like tons of high-speed photography. Like he just did a video that was 175,000 frames a second.
Wow.
He filmed a CD that like shattered, and it shatters so fast that you need to have 175,000 frames in order to see it.
Yeah, it's a YouTube channel called The Slow Mo Guys, and I just film stuff slow. Shout out.
Yeah.
Subscribe.
That clip that you recorded was it was 4 seconds, but it would take how long to watch 4 seconds?
So I recorded 4 seconds of real time of this CD exploding. The CD exploding took like a fraction of a second.
How do you explode it?
You just spin it really fast until it explodes.
On a motor.
And those 4 seconds, if you watched it back, would take 7.5 hours.
Holy how crap.
Did you ever
Coming,
watch
coming to
it?
theaters this summer.
I could shoot a feature in
Trilogy.
in 4
We're
seconds.
crowdfunding that night. That's our next thing that we're doing.
I'm thinking of
I'm
making
gonna have to
a
give
really,
this back to you.
Yeah, but it'll be the CD
I'm thinking
project.
I could make the quickest movie ever if I just have everything in the movie happen in like 0.5 of a second.
Yeah,
I've
just
got
like
90 minutes instantly.
You'd have to be pretty exact though.
Like a little flea show.
We're taking questions on Twitter as well. So if you want to tweet a question to the Broken Lizard guys, you can just tweet to hashtag best day ever. It also would help if you probably tagged hashtag Rooster Teeth Podcast as well, RT Podcast.
RT Podcast.
But one of the big questions is, I know you guys are right in the middle, not even in the middle yet, but you're just at the beginning of crowdfunding Super Troopers 2. But you have a lot of other hits that people are interested in as well. You know, Beer Fest comes up, a lot of people are asking about it. If this goes well, can you guys go off and crowdfund other movies and revisit some of that other stuff?
Yeah. I mean, I know the sequel to Beer Fest is Pot Fest, which was originally meant to be a joke at the end of the movie when Willie Nelson shows up. And
Austin native.
Yeah, and pretty much every, like stoner in Hollywood came out of the woodwork. I mean, Willie himself was like, man, I'll be in that movie. Let's do this thing. Like Snoop Dogg and Cheech and Chong.
50 Cent.
Yeah.
Bill Clinton.
Yeah, Michael Phelps, all those guys.
The purpose of this show is to out every pot smoker.
Exactly. Exactly.
Should point out that we're recording this in the state of California, where that's totally fine.
Oh, right. Sorry. Yeah, but so I think, if Super Troopers 2 goes well, then certainly Pot Fest is a possibility.
Oh, that'd be great.
Wasn't one of the levels in your current crowdfunding something to do with Beer Fest? Attend a Beer Fest?
There's going to be a beer fest in Chicago where we'll compete against people in two-man beer game teams in October.
Nice.
Yep.
And
that's October Madness.
Really sold pretty quickly, I think, didn't it?
It did.
Yeah.
It did.
Yeah.
We're going to be beating a lot of people back in Chicago.
Yeah, when we did the Beer Fest tour, they had us go around the country and host all these beer fests, and we got pretty good at it.
Yeah, we wiped some
awful.
people out.
I know.
Sounds like it was really tough.
Yeah, we have to get back up to that level, though.
Yeah. It was
hard.
tougher than it seems.
No, I understand.
Not as tough as the lollipop video, but pretty tough.
As a semi-pro drinker, I can appreciate the commitment required to get to the professional level.
Yeah. Well, they have those things for real. Like they have real beer fests where people actually like chug the beers way faster than we did in the movie. Like they open their throats and the beer goes down.
I've always been impressed by people who can just open their gullet.
But you should do a high-speed film.
See how quickly it goes.
Yeah.
I went to university down in Houston at Rice University, and there's an annual event there called Beer Bike, where people compete riding bicycles, and they have to ride like a mile or something. Then they have a partner who has to sit there and chug like a giant 32-ounce thing of beer, and they have these special, it's not out of a normal bottle or cup, it's like a specialized cylinder. They like hold up, and it's like vacuum sealed. They hold their hand on the back so it doesn't come down. And as soon as they say go, they let their hand off, and it just like all this beer just streams right down there.
That'd be a great X-ray, just like landing
just see it all inside.
All right, well, we got to take a quick break here. We got a message here we got to toss to, and then we'll be back here in just a minute.
Good toss.
Thanks.
Hello, pretty ladies. Hey, what's your name?
Zaire.
Hey, Zaire. I'm John. Nice to meet you. Evan.
Andrew. Emma.
Hi, Emma.
When are we gonna get started?
Did you bring your magic? Hold it up on your feet. Pull it out of the ground. And now make it open.
Oh my God! Amazing. Did you get a car? Awesome.
I'll tell you what we're gonna do today. We're going to watch a movie in the Chevy Malibu.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna watch the rest of it in the Toyota Camry.
Awesome. I caught it all. What's this movie?
Wallace and Gromit.
All we have to do is watch.
That's the play button in the corner.
Car chase. Oh no. Man, you can do this. He's flying. That's so cool. Cool movie.
Okay, guys, pause the movie. We're gonna watch the rest of it in the Toyota. Everybody put your headphones back on. All right, now hit play again.
Oh no. What happened? Does this car not work? The car works fine. No network. You can't watch the movie. Can I go back in the other car? Maybe this car doesn't have Wi-Fi connection.
What do you think about a car that doesn't have Wi-Fi?
It's really dumb. Not fun. It makes me feel like the car doesn't care about me.
What can we do?
We can go to the other car.
All right, who wants to go back in the Chevy Malibu?
Me. Let's go.
How does the Chevy Malibu make you feel?
Awesome. Because you have Wi-Fi.
Chevrolet, the first and only car company to bring built-in 4G LTE Wi-Fi to cars, trucks, and crossovers.
This is cool. Yeah.
Cry.
Hey everyone, welcome back. We're here, still chatting with the Broken Lizard guys.
So I was thinking, in the first part of the podcast, we were talking about like best day ever and like in a career like serendipity that just happens. And one of the things I loved about the Broken Lizard guys over the years since Super Troopers is you guys have also worked on different things. Like Jay, I've seen you on, you were director of Dukes of Hazzard, and I saw you on Jackass as well.
Yeah, I mean, after we made Dukes of Hazzard, Knoxville just called me up and he's like, "Hey, I need you to come over and do me a favor." And I said, "Okay." He goes, "It's going to be in probably 2, but if we even make 2." Like he's constantly of the mind like, we're just recording a bunch of stuff, and then suddenly at the end he goes, "Okay, we have a movie." So I go over there and he and Spike Jonze are like, "We want you to be the driver in a gag," and it ends up being this amazing, gag where one of his guys. I mean, whenever you describe it, it's so horrifying.
Yeah, it's so multi-layered too. Like,
Yeah,
it's like
I mean,
the pubes at the end.
it's just like it's a unique gag for Jackass world, and part of it was the. Can I describe the gag?
I don't know. Was it fun for you working? I mean, Jackass is so different, I guess, because it's more like personality based. You were performing, but
yeah,
a lot of fun to work on it.
Incredibly fun, but it's also so live. Like, I mean, it's just happening. There's no take 2.
Yeah.
And luckily everything went perfectly, and we pulled the con on this guy, and it's one of the greatest moments of my life.
What about you, Steve? I hear that we have something that you're working on right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really that I'm working on, but I was going through the Indiegogo site and found this kid who, he's got osteogenesis imperfecta, which is the brittle bone disease. He had his first fracture at age 2 weeks. He's had 70 fractures since then. Life in a wheelchair, and he's trying to raise $4,000 to basically get transportation to and from the hospitals because he has to take public transportation. And so, it's the last day of his campaign. His name's Sean Smith, and I looked. He's only got $1,800. So on behalf of Broken Lizard, we're going to donate $2,500 so he can finish his campaign.
Wow, that's awesome, guys.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And how old is he?
He's 25 now.
He's 25 now.
Yeah.
Wow.
But his story is, amazing.
Yeah, well, I think that shows, the real power of crowdfunding. It's not just for entertainment, products. It's, campaigns like that where somebody's actually trying to change in their life, or trying to, get out of a bad situation, or you can help somebody out. I mean, that kind of thing is like, that's what makes the internet so special to me, is like the way it connects us all. Even though sometimes we make fun of smartphones, how they, we sit there and tap on them over dinner. It's like, all this technology does bring us together in a lot of ways.
Yeah. You can tap enough for good.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so I want to thanks to the Broken Lizard team for being here, and I just want to say, back to you guys.
Thank you.